हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ कॉमर्स। आज के वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस एंड स्लाइटली ऑन द टफर साइड फॉर यूजीसी नेट पेपर 1। सो आप किसी भी स्ट्रीम से यूजीसी नेट अपीयर करने वाले हैं, देन दिस वीडियो इज फॉर यू। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन हमारे पास है, विच मेथड इज बेस्ट when the research aim is to develop a theory grounded in participants' lived experiences? Options हमारे पास है grounded theory, experimental method, सर्वे रिसर्च और मेटा एनालिसिस। करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ पर है ऑप्शन ए, दैट इज ग्राउंडेड थ्योरी, बिकॉज इट फोकसेस ऑन जनरेटिंग थ्योरी फ्रॉम सिस्टमैटिक क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एनालिसिस ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स एक्सपीरियंसेस। सो ये थ्योरी फोकस करता है थ्योरी जनरेट करने में, कहाँ से? फ्रॉम सिस्टमैटिक क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एनालिसिस ऑफ द एक्सपीरियंसेस ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट। Which of the following is most appropriate when teaching complex problem solving skills? Options हमारे पास हैं pure lecturing without practice, option B worked examples followed by fading guidance and scaffolded practice, option C giving students the final answers to memorize, और option D expecting independent mastery without prior modeling. करेक्ट आंसर होगा यहाँ पर ऑप्शन बी, जहां पर वर्कड एग्जाम्पल्स फॉलोड बाय फेडिंग गाइडेंस आर गिवन। सो इससे क्या होता है, वर्कड एग्जाम्पल्स होते हैं, सो इट रिड्यूसेस कॉग्निटिव लोड, एंड फेडिंग गाइडेंस आपको हेल्प करता है टू ट्रांसफर द स्किल्स टू इंडिपेंडेंट प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग। In institutional governance, autonomy typically allows a higher education institution to, options we have here, ignore regulatory standards completely, make independent decisions about academic programs, finance and administration within legal framework, deny accreditation to other institutions, or avoid accountability for quality. Correct answer option B, that is make independent decisions about academic programs, finance and administration but within the legal framework. So इससे क्या होता है, autonomy is granted for internal decision making, freedom is given while still being accountable to the laws. The null hypothesis in statistical testing usually states, options are option A, there is a meaningful effect or association, option B, there is no effect or no difference between the groups, option C, the sample is biased, or option D, the research hypothesis is true. करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ पर होगा ऑप्शन बी, दैट इज देयर इज नो इफेक्ट और नो डिफरेंस बिटवीन दी ग्रुप्स। Which instructional design model uses a systematic sequence of analysis, design, development, implementation and evaluation? बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन यहाँ पर है, बिकॉज हमने इनको अरेंज करना है एज पर द गिवन ऑप्शंस और देखना है कौन सा करेक्ट ऑप्शन है। और जिन बच्चों ने ये मॉडल पढ़ा है उन्हें देखते ही समझ में आ गया होगा, करेक्ट आंसर है ऑप्शन ए। वहां पर ए स्टैंड्स फॉर एनालिसिस, डी स्टैंड्स फॉर डिजाइन, अगेन डी फॉर डेवलपमेंट, I for implementation and E for evaluation, and this is a classic instructional design framework. Which of the following best describes criteria reference test? Options are scores compared to a norm group to determine rank, scores evaluated against predefined performance standards or objectives, test with no scoring rubric, or test used only in qualitative research. करेक्ट आंसर ऑप्शन बी, जहां पर स्कोर्स इवैल्यूएटेड अगेंस्ट प्री डिफाइंड परफॉर्मेंस स्टैंडर्ड्स या फिर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज अगेन रिसर्च एथिक्स। इन्फॉर्म्ड कंसेंट मस्ट इंक्लूड, option A, deception without debriefing in all cases, option B, clear information about purpose, procedure, risk, benefits, confidentiality and voluntary participation, option C, mandatory participation clauses, or option D, financial compensation as the only consent document. Correct answer informed consent का मतलब क्या होता है, clear information about purpose, procedure, risk, benefits, confidentiality and voluntary participation. So option B here is the correct answer. A meta-analysis differs from a narrative review primarily because meta-analysis is always qualitative, uses statistical techniques to combine quantitative results from multiple studies, does not require clear inclusion criteria, or is only used for educational theory. Correct answer option B, because meta-analysis uses statistical techniques to combine quantitative results from multiple studies. Which assessment is best suited to measure higher order thinking? That is, higher order thinking क्या होती है? Analysis, synthesis and evaluation. कौन सा assessment best है जहां से हम measure कर सकते हैं higher order thinking? Options हमारे पास हैं multiple choice items, testing recall only, that is MCQs. Option B, performance task, essay, authentic assessment during requiring application and reasoning. Option C, true false. ऑप्शन डी, टाइम्ड बेसिक अरिथमेटिक ड्रिल्स. करेक्ट आंसर है यहाँ पर, क्योंकि हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग की बात हो रही है, सो करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन बी, जहां पर एसेज, ऑथेंटिक असेसमेंट रिक्वायरिंग एप्लीकेशन एंड रीजनिंग, बेसिकली आपके सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस जहां पर होंगे, दैट इज बेस्ट सूटेड टू मेजर हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग. Which of the following ICT policies in higher education most directly enhances accessibility for students with disabilities? अगर बात करते हैं disabilities के साथ जो students होते हैं उनकी जो accessibility, कौन सा ICT policy इनमें से enhance करता है? Options हैं replacing all textbooks with only scanned PDFs that are images. Option B, mandating use of accessible formats जैसे कि screen reader friendly documents, captions, transcripts and universal design principles, or using proprietary plugins with no accessibility features. Or option D, restricting lecture recording to in-person viewing only. So कौन सा ICT policy enhance करता है accessibility for students with disabilities? Option B, mandating use of accessible formats and universal design principles. In qualitative sampling, snowball sampling is especially useful when options are the population is highly accessible and the sampling frame is known. Second option, the population is hard to reach or hidden and participants refer other potential participants. Next option, probability sampling is required for generalization. Last option, the study aims for random selection of every member. Correct answer यहाँ पर है option B, that is the population is hard to reach or hidden and participants refer other potential participants. The Hawthorne effect describes option A, improved performance due to participants being observed or studied rather than the experimental treatment itself. Option B, a specific statistical test for variance. Option C, the effect of large sample sizes on p-value. Or option D, a curriculum theory. Correct answer यहाँ पर है option A. Which teaching method most directly promotes collaborative learning? Options हमारे पास हैं lecture with no student interaction. Option B, jigsaw activities and group problem solving where each student contributes expertise. Option C, individual time test without discussions or passive video viewing only. So very simple question, बहुत ही obvious है, जहाँ पर सभी बच्चे collaborate करेंगे, contribute करेंगे, that will be the teaching method that most directly promotes collaborative learning. So option B यहाँ पर is the correct answer. A researcher reports an effect size of 0.8. This typically indicates, options are a negligible effect, a large effect according to Cohen's conventional benchmarks, that p-value is necessarily less than 0.01, or that the sample size is too small. Correct answer है option B. Which assessment technique best aligns with authentic assessment principles? Options are multiple choice test on isolated facts, portfolio assessment showing students' performance on real-world tasks over time. Option C, timed recall quizzes. Or option D, ranking students by bell curve only. Correct answer option B. In classroom management theory, procedural justice contributes to student engagement by, options are ensuring fairness, voice and consistency in rules and procedures so students perceive discipline as legitimate. Option B, always prioritizing strict punishment over restorative approaches or applying rules arbitrarily to assert authority. Last option, limiting student participation in rule making. Correct answer option A. Which of the following is a central goal of open and distance learning system, that is ODL? Options are restricting access to elite learners only. Option B, widening access, flexibility and lifelong learning opportunities through mediated instruction. Option C, eliminating assessment altogether. Option D, reducing synchronous attendance at fixed times only. Correct answer यहाँ पर है option B, that is widening the access, flexibility and lifelong learning opportunities through mediated instruction. Which statistical measure best describes the central tendency when data are highly skewed? Option है mean, median, mode, only or variance. Correct answer यहाँ पर है option B, that is median. In instructional communication, immediacy behaviors by the teachers are intended to. Options हमारे पास है increase psychological distance between teacher and students, decrease perceived distance and increase rapport, motivation and classroom engagement, emphasize only content and never affective aspects, or option D, replace instructional clarity. Correct answer है option B, that is decrease perceived distance and increase rapport, motivation and classroom engagement. When designing MCQs, that is multiple choice questions, to assess application and analysis, the best practice is to, options are test trivial factual recall with implausible distractors. Option B, use scenario-based stems that require application and plausible distractors reflecting common misconceptions. Option C, make options all obviously wrong except one. Or option D, avoid stems longer than a single word at all cost. करेक्ट आंसर है यूजिंग द सिनेरियोज बेस्ड स्टेम्स, दैट इज ऑप्शन बी, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इट विल रिक्वायर एप्लीकेशन एंड प्लॉसिबल डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स विल ऑल्सो बी देयर रिफ्लेक्टिंग कॉमन मिसकंसेप्शंस.